Real Madrid have it all to do at the Bernabeu tomorrow night in the Champions League against Arsenal. And I'm going to give you my honest thoughts, my prediction, and how I see this game planning out. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. That would be absolutely glorious. And we are 500 subscribers away from 51K. The road to 60K is well and truly on. The first leg was unbelievable from Arsenal's perspective. Two world-class free kicks from Declan Rice. Kylian Mbappe didn't turn up. Vinicius Jr. didn't turn up. And the only Real Madrid player that could come off the pitch with his head held high was probably Jude Bellingham. They, of course, will be without Camavinga as he was sent off. This game has the potential to be an all-time classic in the Champions League. Real Madrid have to bring the absolute A game against this Arsenal side. They have got to score 3 goals at the Bernabeu against Arsenal. To give you some perspective, Arsenal haven't conceded 3 goals in more than 420 days, which is absolutely insane. The last team to score 3 goals against Arsenal was Luton Town in a 4-3 defeat against Arsenal at home in the Premier League. Real Madrid this season aren't the Real Madrid we've seen in recent years. They're 4 points off top of the league. Yes, they are in the Copa del Rey final, but it is against Barcelona, who have already beaten them twice this season. And not just beaten them, battered them, absolutely destroyed them. You know, winning 4-0 at the Bernabeu. This Real Madrid team, everyone says that Madrid don't do PR. Everyone says that Madrid this and Madrid that. I've never seen so much PR from a team like Real Madrid in my life. You know, Carlo Ancelotti trying to play with the football gods, wearing his favorite jacket. You know, there is a big situation with regards to Federico Valverde. Do Real Madrid play him in midfield or do they play him at right back? I'll be honest with you. The game against Arsenal was all about Real Madrid trying to get on a counter-attack. This game is about Real Madrid trying to manage it. Now, looking at this objectively, I think it's better. Federico Valverde's best position is, of course, in midfield. However, Vasquez up against Martinelli or Saka, I think both of those have got the beating of Vasquez. Valverde is a lot more of an even battle. The midfield will probably be Tchouaméni, Luka Modric, and Jude Bellingham. Now, Real Madrid, you know, they're apparently going to play a motivational video for all of the fans, or all of the players, sorry. And this is another big situation. Fran Garcia, he is going to get absolutely cooked by Bukayo Saka. And I'm going to be honest, I'm actually that confident Arsenal will go through. And no, I'm not trying to mess with the football gods because I want Arsenal to go out. I just think they will go through. I am actually going to title this video, "It's done." I don't see Real Madrid scoring 4 goals against this Arsenal team. I don't see them scoring 3 goals. If there is any team that is capable of a Champions League comeback, it is, of course, Real Madrid. It's their competition. They are the kings, 15 times winners. They've got the players to do it. Kylian Mbappe, Vinny Jr., Jude Bellingham, Rodrigo. That front four is the best front four in Europe. But this season, they're not firing on all cylinders. Vinny Jr., since the start of the turn of the year, has been absolutely stinky. I don't know what Carlo Ancelotti is doing with his substitutions. Instead of bringing on players like Arda Güler and Endrick, he's bringing on Fran Garcia off the bench and Vasquez. Instead of bringing on players like Brahim Diaz, he's not. Real Madrid just about won at the weekend as well against Alvarez. And of course, Kylian Mbappe was sent off in the 38th minute for a reckless challenge. I think Real Madrid's best team they play is a 4-3-3. This 4-5-1, Arda Güler on the right, Rodrigo on the left, resting Vinny Jr., resting Jude Bellingham, you know, Asensio and Rudiger at the back. And of course, they did bring on Jude, Vinny, Dani Ceballos is back as well, Brahim Diaz. But Modric was rested, Alaba was rested, Endrick was rested, and they struggled against this Alvarez team to win 1-0. Don't get me wrong, Alvarez then had a man sent off. but they only had 4 shots on target. And we actually look at the match stats. Alvarez had better opportunities, more possession, more shots on target, more shots, higher pass accuracy, and the same amount of corners. Real Madrid have to rise if they want to beat this Arsenal team. But from Arsenal's perspective, if they go out and get the job done, they're in the semi-finals and they will face either PSG or Aston Villa. They will actually find out who they're playing in the next round if they go through tonight. Now, Sky Sports News have put out saying Arsenal's training session at the Soba Reality Training Centre this morning. There was no Ricardo Calafiori. There was no Ben White. There was no Jorginho. There was no Calafiori. But they did have a big player in there, Thomas Partey and Ben White. Now, there was rumours that Thomas Partey wasn't going to be able to play this game. There was a lot of rumours that due to injury, he has travelled with the squad. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the remainder of this Champions League campaign. When you look at Kingsley Coman's another player being heavily linked with the football club, I think if Arsenal get this done, PSG is going to be a very, very tough test. I think they've got one of the best midfielders in Europe in Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, and João Neves. But this Arsenal team have already beaten that PSG team this season. It's all about the Champions League now for Arsenal. The Premier League title is done. They're 13 points away from Liverpool. And Liverpool will need 2 more wins in this season to pretty much guarantee their title. They'll end up beating Tottenham, my team, just to show the levels. And who knows? Arsenal may even finish 3rd. Newcastle United, if they win their game in hand, they're 4 points off of Arsenal with it all to play. In terms of their fixtures, this Real Madrid game should be 100% the priority. I don't think any Arsenal fan really cares about Ipswich Town at the weekend or really cares about Crystal Palace or Bournemouth. It's all about building momentum now. They drew at the weekend against Brentford, but they did make a number of changes. Thomas Partey obviously scored to make it 1-0. But look at that front line. Bukayo Saka was rested. Odegaard was rested. Saliba and Kivior played 90 minutes together again. Miles Lewis-Skelly was rested. Timber was rested. Declan Rice played about 60 minutes and then was subbed off. So they will be ready for this game. They have to deliver. I honestly think that that Arsenal go through. And I'll be honest, if they don't go through, fair play to Real Madrid, because that will be one hell of a comeback. You're talking one of the greatest comebacks in Champions League history. 3 goals down to bring it back is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Let me know your score prediction down below. In terms of PSG Aston Villa, I think PSG will progress to the next round of the Champions League. I think Barcelona will progress to the next round of the Champions League. And these games tonight, Barcelona are 4-0 up on aggregate against Borussia Dortmund. They're the team to beat at the moment. They are the team to beat. They're the favourites for me for the Champions League. If Aston Villa score early against PSG, that is going to be one hell of a game, that. But Dortmund, they're having a bad season in the Bundesliga. They're having a bad season in the Champions League. They're going to be knocked out at the quarterfinals by Barcelona. And in terms of Barcelona, they could do a treble this season. Hansi Flick in his first season at Barcelona is top of the league by 4 points, in the Copa del Rey final, and on the verge of being in the Champions League semi-final, where they will play Inter Milan or Bayern Munich. It probably will be Inter Milan. But listen, it's going to be a very, very interesting game tonight. Again, Aston Villa versus... If there's one manager that is very, very good against all the odds, you think back to that Villarreal team that won the Europa League. You think back to that Villarreal team in the Champions League who knocked out Bayern Munich, who nearly knocked out Liverpool. With players like Giovanni Lo Celso, players like Juan Foyth. He managed to do that. With Rashford, he's got to be on it tonight. Asensio's got to be on it tonight. Asensio playing against his old team as well. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Like I said, we are about 500 subscribers away from 51,000. And the road to 60K is well and truly on. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know your score predictions. and I will see you all in the next one. I will probably do a match reaction for the Aston Villa game tonight, but I am out.